Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I want to talk a little bit about currency collapses, but not in the way that many of y'all probably have heard about it going down. A lot of people think that a currency collapse, you're going to have time to get out and you know, it's going to happen so fast. And to a certain point, it will happen fast, but it's going to happen slow for a little while. And a lot of people don't even know what is happening, and that's why I kind of want to talk about that. If you think that you're going to be able to wait until the last minute and then prepare for a currency crisis or something major, a major event, by the time everybody realizes it, too much has already happened. You're pretty much sunk. You're not going to be able to buy precious metals. You'll see the prices of everything going up rapidly, and you'll see the value of the dollar coming down, essentially. And people have this belief that you're just going to be able to make all the changes right at the end. I've had someone tell me not too long ago that, you've been saying that silver is going to go up in value now for like 8-9 years. Eventually, yeah, you'll probably be right. Eventually stuff does happen. But even a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while. And I find that funny, but I also say to that person that I would not be able to be in the position that I'm in today if I started today. And what I mean by that is it takes years to acquire a good position. Now, it doesn't mean if you see what's going on, you see the writing on the wall now, that you won't be able to make a difference. Every day that you have time to start planning and preparing is going to put you in a way better spot than the next guy that didn't take any time. Obviously, the people that have been planning for a lot longer than you, maybe they've been planning for years, they're going to be in a really good spot when things start going crazy. But is there anything wrong with being a little early to the party? I can tell you, this is going to sound a little strange, maybe, whenever I get invited to a party, I haven't been to a party in a while, but I used to always like to go, not early, but I certainly didn't want to go late. And there's a reason for that. The best food is out. Everything's there. Oh, come on in, help yourself, eat whatever you want. There's plenty of food on the table. Have you ever gone to a party when it's already been going on for 4 or 5 hours and you go over and like all the food's been picked over and there's hardly nothing left? The good fajita meat's gone, the good ribs are gone, and all that's left is like some chicken that looks like it's been, I don't know, handled. So, and I say that because I want people to understand the earlier you get, well, to the party, but the earlier you start preparing for what's happening, the better off you're going to be. So with that being said, we're going to talk about that in today's video. If you enjoy the video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts on this. And if you have any ideas for videos, I'm always looking for good ideas. Some stuff I don't know enough about to really do a video. I'll be honest. I'm not a big fan of platinum. I'm not a big fan of Bitcoin. Do I know about it? Yes. It's really not something that I push towards, that I really talk a lot about. I will be honest, both of them investments have done really well. Platinum, I looked it up the other day. Platinum's doing 3% better than gold. Basically 46%, I think it was, up for platinum versus 42% for gold versus like 22% for silver. And I rattled off a bunch of them the other day, So, yeah, they've done great. But I try to stick to stuff that I kind of know a little bit more about, or believe that I have a good knowledge base about. So if you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. And with that being said, let's get started. Let's take a look at some of the stuff going on that I really think that people need to understand and be prepared. Right off the bat, we're going to take a look at some of the numbers. We got silver trading at $36.77. It's up. It's over the $36 mark. A lot of people have been saying, there's not going to be a dip coming. A lot of things have been getting worse. One of the things that I found really interesting was that I guess they just passed the Big Beautiful Bill. Now, here's the thing. To me, the Big Beautiful Bill, I'm not a fan of it. I hate to say it. It's more spending. I really thought we were going to cut spending and try to point the government in the right direction with cutting down our deficit, cutting down our spending, and really take the country to a better spot. Now, does it mean we won't go there? I'm not going to lie. We don't know where things are going to go. They're going to keep doing everything in their power to kick the can down the road. I mean, when the housing crisis happened in 2008, things should have really collapsed. And yes, we did see a major pullback in a lot of stuff, but what did they do? They started ramping up the printing presses and pumping so much more money into the system that essentially people had confidence because their investments were going up in value at a rapid pace. We're seeing silver go up. We're seeing gold go up. We're seeing Bitcoin go up. We're seeing the prices of everything we buy at the store go up. This is all indications of debasing money. Basically, they're printing more money, and that money is getting into the system. The more it gets into the system, the more it causes the finite amount of resources to go up. I'll give you an example. If, let's say, you have a town and there's only 100 homes in it, hypothetically, for a minute. There's 100 homes and there's 500 people. Not everybody can afford a home. There's only 100 of them. But all of a sudden, if everybody's given a ton of money, what happens to the price of homes? Price of homes go up. Why? Because everybody has enough money to buy a home. So naturally, if there's only so many homes for sale, if someone's selling a home, they're not going to take $20,000 for a home when they know they can get more. They're not going to take 100 if they know they can get more. They're not going to take 200 if they know they can get more. As the price goes up, you got to understand that that's more money in the system. We're seeing the national debt continue to climb. This big, beautiful bill is essentially, in my opinion, an excuse for them to print more money. I mean, it's a 1,000-page bill. That, to me, is insane. No one's read it. I'm not convinced anybody's really read it. Maybe a handful of people. There's so much stuff in there that's going to be wasted money, essentially. But this is the road we're on. We're on the road to inflation. We're on the road to debasing the currency, printing more money, and rising prices. And it's a slow road. And it really is, because when you look at the DXY, today we're under 97. So I want you to look at that for a minute. We're under 97. We're continuing to slip. We've showed this chart time and time again, year to date. How many people, I heard someone tell me today, this fool says that the country's broke. Can you believe that? And I looked at him and I said, do you think we're not broke? I said, do you know how much in debt we are? It doesn't matter. Once they approve this bill, everything is going to be better. Based on what? I'm not going to sit here and get into politics. You know, some of y'all know who I rooted for, who I root for. And there I go, about ready to talk politics. I'm kind of holding my tongue a little bit and thinking. Needless to say, the more we print, the more trouble we're going to be in. This right here is the dollar. Take a look at the dollar. Dollar was up to 109 at the beginning of the year. What was silver at the beginning of the year? Let's take a look. At the beginning of the year, silver was $28 and change, $28.88, $28.90. As the dollar loses value, the price of silver goes up. Why? Because it takes more of those dollars to essentially buy the same amount of silver. You can see it really well in this chart as the dollar is going down in value more and more and more. And that's scary when you look at this. It really is, because people think, oh, it's not going to matter or whatever. You know, here's the thing. We're going to keep slipping down. We're going to have little pops up like you saw right here in 512. We had a nice little pop up. People thought it was turning around as we went back over 100. But then we started trickling down again. You know, there's not really anything, I think, now that can be done about the dollar getting debased and losing value. We have printed too much money. There's too much money printed out already. It's already been released in the system. Who destroys the money when you think about it? Do you think government is going to I don't know, take your taxes and not spend it. No. They're gonna keep spending money. They're gonna keep the programs going that they have up and running, because essentially if you cut programs, what does that do? Essentially that cuts votes. People will, if you burn my program, a program that I'm for, I'll be honest, if you took away military retirements, I would be disappointed. I wouldn't want to vote for that person. If someone out there is on Social Security and they took away Social Security, they're not going to be a fan. If someone out there is on disability, they're not going to be a fan if you take that away. All these programs essentially keep people in line, keeps people voting for the candidate that's not going to take their stuff away. And ultimately, they keep printing money. The dollar keeps going down in value over time. And it's inevitable that we're going to see gold and silver continue to go up in value. We're going to continue to see other stuff going up in value. I was talking to one of my friends today. I said, this is a scary time, really. He said, why do you say that? I said, do you understand the Great Depression? He said, yeah, but we're nowhere near there. That could never happen here nowadays. I said, why do you think that? He goes, well, look at the way things are. I said, okay. I said, you understand, first of all, what happened before the Great Depression. We had the Roaring '20s, where people had this belief that investments could not go down in value. There was no way stocks could drop. These are the companies, the backbone, the industry of essentially the country and slowly moving out to the world. And eventually, the stock market did take a hit. What caused it to take a hit, in my opinion, was basically people buying on margins. Back then, they didn't have all the rules that we have today about how much you can borrow against, how much, but little by little, they're getting rid of a lot of those rules again. We're going back to lax loans, where essentially people in some cases don't even need to put a down payment now. I mean, it's ridiculous. A lot of people are borrowing against Bitcoin to buy more Bitcoin. A lot of people are borrowing against stocks that they own to buy more stocks. It's crazy the way the world is going. But people don't understand hard times can come. They think that it can never happen because we haven't seen, let's be honest, we haven't seen really hard times in a long time. I'm trying to think back a hard time. I heard people say 2008 was a hard time. It was for a little while, but I was working, so it wasn't a huge deal for me. But for a lot of people, maybe they lost their jobs in 2008, but it was short-lived. It didn't last long because they did QE, quantitative easing. They printed more money, they flooded the system, and essentially people thought it had to get better quicker. I want people to understand that each day that we go down a rabbit hole and the economy gets a little bit worse, I can't remember what it was the other day. I should have had it pulled up, the jobs numbers, which should have been a lot better. They were predicting big numbers, and then they got pulled back. And now they're saying if they revise them again, who knows? We'll see what happens. I can't imagine they didn't revise those numbers because they were nowhere near expectations. But as things get a little worse, more and more people are going to wake up. As more people wake up to what's going on, those people are going to position themselves to be prepared for what's coming. A lot of people won't have time to prepare because the prices will have already jumped too much. I'll give you another example, and I've always liked this example. How many people have ever seen them actually move a barn, the Amish people? The Amish people will put pegs. They'll drill holes in a barn, and they'll put these wooden pegs in. And some of these barns, they have no floors. They basically just move it from one foundation to another, or they build it and then they put it on a foundation. When they go to move it, everybody goes around the barn, gets in front of a peg, and picks up the peg. Over 100 people, all lifting as one. It's coordinated. Everybody takes breaks at the same time. Everybody eats at the same time. Whatever the case may be. With everybody lifting the barn, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's not super hard. You watch them lift it up. There's YouTube videos of them doing it. It's incredible to watch. And literally, it just moves. They all lift and they start walking with it. Doesn't take them super long. It's coordinated. However, as more and more people were to maybe take a break, hey, I got to go get a water break. Hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Hey, I got to do this. I mean, granted, they're well organized. Everybody had time to do all that. But if people start getting out of the system, stop holding the barn, it gets heavier and heavier on the remaining people. That's kind of what's happening with the dollar right now. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to pick up silver while I do. Silver and prepping and stuff, this is someone getting out of the system, essentially. They're tired of the system. They know it's collapsing, and they don't want it to fall on their watch. So they want to be prepared. They want to save themselves. Now, that same barn that maybe had 100 people moving it, 20 of them start going to the bathroom. That barn is getting heavier. Another 10 go and get water and drinks and snacks. It's inevitable that eventually, if people keep walking away, or it's going to get heavier and heavier, the barn is going to fall. Someone's going to be hurt. So what do? If you're at like 60 people now on the barn and that barn is getting heavy, do you step away from it? Position yourself for safety? Or do you just keep hanging on to it? I mean, it's sad to say, you look out for yourself and your family, but essentially that's what's happening right now with the dollar. We're seeing the dollar come down. What's making it come down? More and more people are getting rid of the dollar. They're printing more and more dollars. They're buying their own treasury bonds back. Why? To make it look like there's demand. And the dollar is slowly coming down in value. Some people realize it and they start positioning themselves. Some people don't even know what's going on. When I showed this chart to someone, he had no clue what this even meant. And here's the thing. This right here, yes, this represents the US dollar against other currencies, a basket of other fiat currencies. This is not a chart that's showing you the dollar against gold or the dollar against silver, because the truth of the matter is all the currencies are falling. They're all fiat now, and they're all coming down together. So you don't realize how bad currencies are really doing. When you take a look at, we'll say, the gold price real quick. And I had someone ask me the other day, are you against gold? You always talk more about silver. I am more pro-silver because I believe the odds of silver doubling in value is a whole lot better than the odds of gold doubling value in the short run. Short run, is gold going to hit $6,680 before silver just hits a measly 72, 73, 73.40? It's more likely that silver will double before gold. They'll both double in the long run. But I believe it's easier for silver to double because of the heavy manipulation that we've proven that has happened. And essentially the demand, when demand picks up, a lot of people are going to be scared to want to buy something like gold because it's moved up so quick. Governments will still buy it. Even Bitcoin. I talk to some people now, they're like, I can't stomach buying Bitcoin at 110,000. Yeah, maybe if you had a chance to pick it up at 20, it was a great buy. It clearly has gone up. But they won't spend this much money. I actually asked my friend today, I said, 110,000, you getting out? He said, I can't now. I think it's going to go a whole lot higher. I said, and that's the greed stepping in. It's exactly what happened in 1929. When the price just kept going up. People thought there was no way you could lose. I mean, stocks, they don't come down. Everything just goes up. The 2008 housing crisis, housing prices don't come down. It just keeps going up. There's no way you can lose until the day comes that it has a violent crash. And I'm not saying Bitcoin will. I believe it will, but I don't know. We're going to find out. I think a lot of people are going to be discouraged if something bad happens. But when you look at silver price, we'll kind of zoom out. Let's zoom out for like 5 years. You know what? Let's take it all the way back. As a whole, on silver, we're seeing silver prices go up. Yeah, there's outliers where silver has skyrocketed for whatever the reason. Maybe you believe in the Hunt brothers. Maybe you believe inflation was just bad in the early 80s, and so people were getting scared and they started moving into silver. Then you had 2011, when you had the quantitative easing from 2008. You had the 2008 housing crisis. They pumped a lot of money into the system. Where'd that money go? A lot of people bought silver. They knew inflation was coming, so they were scared, so they were looking for a way to protect themselves. So they drove up the price of silver with all those people buying silver. You look at what's going on now, people aren't fully convinced that inflation is gone, but they're not fully convinced that it's not either. People have this belief right now that things can get better. And we're seeing the price slowly rise. Why is it going up? If it all of a sudden jumped $50, what kind of impact would that have if it jumped to $50 instantly? There'd be a lot of people that might sell. There'd be a lot of people that might want to buy. I mean, it will be interesting to see how it plays out as the price slowly goes up. A lot of people would be scared, and they would say, oh man, I got to hurry up and buy some silver. It's getting out of hand. People tend to want to follow what's already happened. Bitcoin skyrocketed to 110,000. There's actually people out there now that want to get on that train. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, me personally, I want to get into something before it experiences the big jump, before everybody else. I've been in silver for a while now. And here's the thing. I had someone ask me, then why do you even keep buying? At $36, $37 plus a $2 premium. I looked at a 100-ounce stack of the new Sitting Bull, which is the new Legendary Warrior. That is out now, for those of you that don't know. Sitting Bull. And I was like, man, that's a lot of money. I can't stomach $39. Can't do it. Even at $39, $40, I can't stomach that. I tell myself, do you wait? What do you do? There's people out there that are like, oh, I got to hurry up and buy because the price already jumped. It's going to keep jumping. I mean, we're going to always see little pullbacks, little dips. You're not going to catch the big one. Maybe you won't. Maybe you will. I've talked about this pullback right here. $34, $34.50, all the way down to $28. Think about that. That's a huge drop. It happened over a couple days. We didn't see some big drop at the end of the second financial quarter like I had hoped, which tells me that everything is being positioned to go a whole lot higher. There's enough people buying right now to make prices go up. And as the price slowly goes up, that's like that boat. It's sitting on the shore right there. It's not a big deal. Oh, I just want to finish up what I'm working on right now, and then I'll get on. And it slowly starts drifting. Oh, well, I can still row out to it. It's not that far out. And it slowly keeps drifting. And the silver price just keeps slowly going higher. A lot of people will miss it. And it's sad because some people are going to wake up one day and be like, I remember when silver was $15 and I said it would never go up. And now, here it is up. The naysayers that talk trash about silver. Maybe that's because they're in Bitcoin. There might be people that one day Bitcoin goes to, I'm going to say it as a joke, but I don't think it will go there. There have been claims that Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million. There will probably be people, if it goes to $1 million, that will be crying that they had never got some. I might be one of them. But then we could also see Bitcoin collapse. The thing about gold and silver is tangible wealth. It's an item that it's not just monetary. Some people will say silver is not a monetary metal, just gold is. The truth of the matter is it doesn't matter if it's monetary or not. It's needed. It's physically needed for something. whether that be a cell phone, whether that be a wedding band, a wedding ring, whether that be a Tomahawk missile. It doesn't matter. We need silver. We need gold. Therefore, it has tangible value. The thing I'm not a fan of with Bitcoin is the only thing that it's not physical. You don't need it for anything other than investing and hoping that somebody will pay you more for it later. And maybe they will, because people will always speculate on items. With silver, though, yeah, you're speculating it's going to go up, but there's also a demand. It will continue to get used up. And as it does, that's it. I should actually talk one day about Bitcoin, because I would like to find someone that really knows a lot about Bitcoin. A lot of the people I talk to that have it, they don't really even understand it. Is Bitcoin set at 21 million and there can never be more, but does it ever go away? Do you ever lose Bitcoin? With gold and silver, especially silver, it is getting used up. Yeah, they can mine more of it, but it's getting used up faster than we can mine it. That's why I think silver is such a great investment too. And the manipulation just makes it an absolute buy to me. With that being said, I'm going to wrap up here. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let's see how long it was. 26 minutes. Nice. I hope everybody has a great 4th of July weekend. I was actually asking a couple people today. I said, do they have a 4th of July in China? I was shocked how many people said, whoops. I was shocked how many people told me no. No, they don't have a 4th of July in China. I said, technically there's a 4th of July everywhere. They just don't celebrate it, just to kind of mess with people. And they're like, oh, you're right. You got me. I was actually watching a clip the other day. The guy's like, I'll bet you I can do anywhere from 300 to 400 push-ups in a minute. And everybody placed their bets. Guy drops down and does 4 push-ups. Stands up. Everybody's laughing at him. He said, what? I did exactly what I said. Between 300 and 400 push-ups. It's all in paying attention to what's going on. I hope everybody enjoyed the video. I thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all have a great 4th of July. I will probably be going live either tonight, tomorrow night, or Sunday night. Not probably. I will go live one of those 3 nights. I don't know which night it will be yet, because a lot of it will depend on what's going on. But I won't do the live stream giveaway unless we have at least 5 or 10 people that are members. So those of you that don't know, we do our special members event once every month. I did not do it the other day. I had actually lost track of the month, and then I had some issues, and so I didn't get to do it. So this one is actually going to be for the end of last month, which I should have done a couple days ago. So it's going to be fun. It's free for members. I had someone ask me one day, do you just do members events? It takes a lot of time to do the events. It's a special thing. Sometimes at certain milestones, I will do special giveaways that's open to everybody. But every month, I give some really cool prizes away to members. And this month, I've got a pretty cool prize that we're going to give away. And I actually had a member just send me a prize that he wants to give away, but he wants to make sure, because it's such an awesome prize. He said, I kind of want you to announce it, but then maybe not give it away right away. So I got to get with him on exactly how he thinks the best way to handle it is, because I usually just give away a cool ounce of silver, something nice, maybe a spider. I usually work with the winner to see, hey, this was the prize, but if you want something else. I had one member, she won, and she said, I really like Libertads. Do you have any? And so I sent her a really old 1-ounce silver Libertad, one of the originals. It was like years and years ago, like probably 30 years old, I think. She loved it. So the winners, I usually, like I said, I just work with them, whatever they want, within reason. If I can swap it out, I will. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. Have a great weekend, and I will see you guys again next time on T-Square Talk. Be sure and check out some of these other great videos. I will be putting some short videos up over the weekend to try to boost up my watch time and I shouldn't say watch time, my membership, but not memberships, my subscriber base. comments, views. I've been doing a lot of different stuff right now, as someday I will be focusing a lot more on shorts, and especially now because they've got 3-minute shorts now, which means I can actually put some good information in 3 minutes. But be sure and check out some of these. They're a lot of fun to watch, a lot of cool stuff. And thank y'all. Have a great one. Bye bye.